Talk show. I'm your host, Dominic George. I hope you are enjoying yourself despite the cold, all right? So now we're back. I had this guest before, and we are going to have this conversation. She was invited to the New York earlier this year to present Kenya as one of the youngest women activists. And she spoke in the same podium with the former president, Barack Obama. So welcome, Bina. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so
great.
much for having me, Dominic.
Perfect.
Yes.
Goalkeepers. I mean, you've been here before by the way, so but maybe
And
someone,
it's always a pleasure being here.
someone might not know you anyway.
Really? No, but anyway.
New viewers.
No. I'm just an ordinary Kenyan citizen. That's
called?
Yeah. Called. Okay, my name is Bina. My name is Bina Maseno. I run Badili Africa Initiative, and what it does is to empower young people to be active citizens in matters of democracy and governance, and also it aims to change young women's perspective on politics and how they can engage in civic issues. So that's what I do. Apart from that, I'm just this Kenyan citizen who
is making us proud. Very good. Now let's go on.
Yes.
Now you are one, I think, of the two Kenyans to go to goalkeepers. It was you and Larry Madowo, right? And I think so. I think from the list that was there.
There were other Kenyans actually.
Kenyans,
there were
right?
a few other Kenyans.
Four other Kenyans.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Yes.
But in terms of addressing the audience, you are the only one who did that.
Yes.
Yes, it's okay. It's all
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And on that platform, tell me, whom did you share the podium with?
First of all, it was a rare privilege and honor to be invited to the Goalkeepers event, which was an event hosted by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in New York. And there were amazing speakers, quite inspiring
I'm going
speakers.
to be interrupting you every time because you met Bill Gates.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So yeah. So there was Bill Gates, there was Melinda Gates, there was Barack Obama, there was Trevor Noah, the Prime Minister John Trudeau of Canada, and great people across the continent who are doing amazing work in trying to make a difference. Yes.
So
those are some of the invited speakers.
Yes.
Yes.
So what was Goalkeepers all about, basically? Is it something in the word? Is it something in the word goalkeepers?
No, so this was a first of its kind to be hosted by Bill and Melinda Gates, and basically what it was doing is to bring leaders across the world who are doing something within their capacity to make a difference in their environment, to share ideas on what is working, so where are the gaps, and what is the way forward. So basically that is what it was all about. So and people shared on what they're doing, because at times, just because you don't see people maybe on TV or you don't read about them, you might think things are not moving.
True.
But when you think about it, when you think about the challenges we were facing years back and where we're at right now, actually most of that has been cut by half. Talk about whether it's climate change, whether we're talking about issues, hunger, poverty levels, most of that has actually been cut by almost half. Just that probably it's not well documented, and we don't get to read about people doing these things behind the scenes each and every other day. So it was a great platform to actually share what is happening out there, where are we, and what do we need to do to actually achieve the global goals. Yes.
And so it was. I'm sure for you it must have been an amazing experience to see how much good people are doing out there.
Yes, it was an amazing experience because I was participating in a Melinda Gates session, which was all about women participation in political processes as well. So that was quite an experience for me as well, just to get to share my experience, where we are at, and what I think can be done, in terms of progress when it comes to women engagement in political processes, and what are the challenges also young women face.
True.
Yes.
And when you were there, I'm sure you'd listen to a whole number of talks, right?
Yes.
Number of presentations.
Yes.
Who was the person you said, okay, all these are great, but this?
I think I'll just probably summarize. I think also I'll use maybe Barack Obama statement to summarize what the event was about. And what stood out for me is, when he said, the challenges will always be there, but it's up to all of us to stand up and try make a difference. And I think that's a call to everyone, and not just leaders. you know, because we are all leaders. You know, when you think about it, when it comes to leadership, you always think you must, you know, you must have a title or something to be called a leader. But I've always said you don't need a title or a position to serve. You know, we are all leaders. Think about the people who are making a difference in your everyday lives, in your personal life. You know, each and every other day, the person who inspires you.
This person right now
That's gonna be the Prime Minister
of
Canada,
Justin Trudeau.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not.
No.
I'm not gonna go there. All right. So you came back.
But he's
and
amazing.
one of the reasons you went there is because of your organizing. You know, you're a community organizer, right?
Yes.
If you could say community leader, and one of the things is to empower people, and especially women, to get involved.
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
to become
yes,
the change that you want to
yeah.
see. Do you see that do you see people? Do you think that women in Kenya are getting more and more involved?
Yes, I think we are. There are many actually mentorship programs out there, and I think they're making a difference in many women's lives. Though the progress is slow, because if we're talking about women engaging in political processes, and if we compare it with our East East African neighbors, talk of Rwanda, we are at 63%. Women engagement in political processes.
63.
63. 62 point something. That's
Okay,
just 63%.
That's
When you look at Uganda, and then you look at Tanzania, averagely we're looking at 35%. But Kenya, we're still at 19%. And women engagement,
19.
yes, we're at 19%.
Rwanda is at 63.
63.
We're at 19.
Yeah, we're at 19. And our other neighbors, our other East African neighbors,
little higher.
they're a little higher. Like averagely, they are at 35%. But Kenya, we are at 19%. And when you even go lower to women below 35 years, that is 1%.
1%.
Yes, 1%.
Below that 5 years?
Yes. Below 35 years. If you're looking at women below 35 who've been actually elected,
1%.
It's 1%.
Wow. Okay.
So that means there's still
a lot to be done.
There's still more to be done because women, represent half the population, like 50% of the population are actually women, and therefore half of its potential. So their empowerment is vital, because even when you look at it, they are the cornerstone of economic development.
Yes, true,
so
true.
their empowerment is vital and crucial to a strong democracy
Do
in
you
this
have
country.
Do you have more women voting in Kenya? I don't know. Or do you know that?
If we have more women voting,
Yeah.
yes.
There are more women voting in Kenya than men.
I mean, in every other election, even in every other election, there'll always be more women voting.
Okay.
The
gap
voting bloc,
is always bigger.
is actually majorly dominated by women.
By women.
Yes.
Zambia.
Yes.
What was it? After you came back from New York, you went to Zambia.
Yes. So when I came back, yes, I went to Zambia, and Zambia, it was agenda pre-forum, because there will be a high-level dialogue on some of the issues that were discussed in Zambia that will feature in the sixth high-level dialogue by the African Union. But what stood out for me in Zambia was not even the fact that I was invited as a speaker to share as well, but it's the women that I met there, women who've paved the way for some of us. We complain about the challenges we face right now as young women, but when you look at women who've been engaging 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, you'll be astonished at all the barriers they had to, overcome to get to where they are right now. And I think that usually misses when we talk to young women about engaging. It's because we don't even get to hear the stories of these women, and at times they're not very well documented. Because even when we talk about the Mau Mau, and I appreciate the role they played, because I mean I enjoy the privileges of their fight and all that. But when we talk about them, we think about the men who fought, but we don't think about the women who supported them in this, in their fight. We don't even know how they look like. I mean, even their pictures, you'll be amazed that even when you Google some of these women, you can't even. There are no photos of them. Literally, there are no photos of them. We have women like Chelagat Mutai, who was elected in Parliament in 1976, imagine, at 24 years old.
I didn't
when
even
you
know
were,
that.
you know, when she was 24 years old. But how many people remember her? You know,
There's a picture about her at least.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh.
There's a picture. You know, there is a photo, but like very few photos. So for me, it was quite an experience, just also sitting and listening to their experiences and appreciating where we're headed. And that is why for me, I will call that progress.
Perfect,
you know,
perfect.
I will call that progress. Yes.
Now, as we close up, there's one quote that came out from you from when you're in Zambia. You made a quote that has actually been making quite a good rounds, if I have to say, right? That the office of the citizen is the most powerful office,
Yes.
more powerful than the office of the president or the
Yes.
elected leaders, or and maybe I would add even the CEOs and parastatal heads. You can put all this, the office of the citizen.
Yes.
What
Yes,
what is it that you wanted to communicate with this?
You know, like I mentioned, many times you always feel like you need a title or an office to serve or act or or execute something. But when you sit back and think about it, even these people that we our leaders, we elected them, we put them there, and that is why I've always said, you know what, if we organize as a citizen, then we are more powerful than the people who actually in power, So that is why I say that the most important office is not the office of the president or the prime minister or the governor or the women representative or the member of county assembly or the senator, but the office of the citizen. I like a quote by Marcus Garvey that, rise up, you mighty race, for you can accomplish whatever it is that you will. That's a quote that often inspires me. And also what our leader, Tom Boyer once said, that it's up to us. There is no hero.
There's no hero.
Yeah, there's no hero.
It's up to each other.
It's up to us. It's just that brief. There is no hero. It's up to us.
I have this strong belief that change is not going to come with the politicians. Change is not going to come with the CEOs. Change is not going to come with the NGOs. Change is going to come when people, you and I, the common mwananchi, the mamamboga, the one selling sausages at the bus stop, when these people are able to organize and start changing their neighborhoods.
Yes.
Do you think that maybe we have become over dependent on the politicians to make a difference in our lives?
Yes, I think so. I think we've become over dependent, and we also don't play our role as citizens in terms of even engaging our day-to-day leaders, and also we basically focus more on maybe criticizing or discussing the president, what he's up to, and you forget the person who impacts you directly is your member of county assembly, and you have a right to actually walk in that office and demand to know what is being done in your area. You have a right to walk in the CDF offices. The doors are always open. You have a right as a citizen to actually go and ask and find out what is happening in your area, because the president is not going to come to your area and tell you all about that. That's why there are representatives at the local level, your MCA, your MP. When it comes to budgets, we don't even attend those. We don't attend the public participation. We never show up. At times they are within our area in the social halls, but we never bother with it. We never show up. Yet we'll sit back and keep ranting. What are they doing with our resources? Oh, they're wasting our resources. Yet you were not there to actually contribute your ideas. You're the one living in that area. So if you have systems that are not working, it's up to you to say, you know what? I think we can do this and this, which will have a big impact. Otherwise, at the same time, we always. I find that we hold our leaders to a mediocre standard, because they will come to us and tell us, this is what I have done compared to having done nothing, and we're going to cheer them on. Someone is telling you, I have done this, and they've done 30%. 30%, and we're cheering them compared to having done nothing. Yet the approach should be, this is what I was expected to do this much, but I have been able to accomplish.
I've gone even over and above.
Yeah, I've been able to accomplish this, but just tell us, what, I was meant to do this, but I've been able to accomplish this. Let us just have the bigger picture,
Right.
And that's up to us to actually rise up, stand up, and begin to hold them accountable and to speak for that mama mboga who cannot speak up for herself. You know, at times, me and you who are empowered need to realize, you know what, we have to fill that gap, because there are people who will never speak up for themselves. You know, that mama mboga might be bribed because she needs that 200, but you who cannot be bribed by that 200, it's up to you to speak up. It's up to you to drive there and demand services, because perhaps you can be bribed by let's say 500 shillings. Already you're probably driving in there to figure out what is wrong with this, you know. So yes. It's up to us to actually
It's up to us to make that difference. Perfect.
Yes.
I think this has been powerful. You know, it has been absolutely powerful. I've loved everything that you've said. And I really appreciate, on behalf of all the viewers and all of us, appreciate what you're doing to make a difference in our community. And I'm proud and I'm thankful, really, for coming to my show.
Thank you.
That was Bina Maseno for you. We are a young activist, and she's been to the goalkeepers to Zambia. She's representing us, making us proud. And she's challenging you and I that we can become the change that you want to see. You are the hero that you've been waiting for. Now we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back. Thank you so much for being with us. Don't go away. We have another show coming. We have a great show still ahead. So don't go away. We're going to be right back.